Hey y'all, it's Arwen with Tarot by Arwen. I'm here today to talk about the Gan Tarot. It is my primary reading deck. I laugh about it because I tell people that I am a serial monogamist when it comes to reading tarot. I can't tell where the camera is, so I don't know who I'm looking at. Sorry. I have my iPhone up here for the light. That's why I got this crazy light in my eyes. So that's what's going on, why I don't look like I'm looking at you. Anyway, this is the Llewellyn Mass Market Edition. It's in one of their great big boxes. Now, I love Llewellyn decks. I'm not a huge fan of this type of box, and here's why. When you open up, you can immediately see there's just a lot of room going on in there. And that's because of this. And hear that? That's the cards in there. It's not very secure. It's just a lot of room in there. I did a previous episode of this video, and these cards went flying out, so I'm going to hold them a little differently this time. But you can see that there's a whole lot of room going on in there. You can't turn them sideways, they don't fit. Now, I want to show you something else. This is a very new, very unused deck. This is my reading deck. You see the differences there? Pristine, used. It's actually the used deck is a little thicker. But here's why I'm not real fond of the Llewellyn. I think I'm repeating myself. It's because of the box being a little big. But they have great books, y'all. I mean, like, totally worth it. And here's the book, Journey Through the Gan Tarot. And this one's very special to me because it was a gift from Joanna and signed. Joanna Powell-Colbert is the creatrix of this tarot. I've been watching this tarot in progress probably since nearly the beginning. It was a 9-year process for Joanna to get this deck the way she really wanted it. And she has limited editions. The Gan, the mass marketed version from Llewellyn is no longer available. It's out of print. You can find it sometimes. I know somebody just found a copy for $10 in a thrift store. Awesome find. So we're all really jealous right now of her. The book, I didn't show you about the book. The book doesn't have illustrations, like none. Some books show you like black and whites of the cards, if you're lucky, full color. What she does though is she gives you some great back end stuff. Careful. She gives you wonderful new moon spread. I don't know if her Elder of Fire is in here. Carolyn Cushing's Aligning with the Earth spread is in here. Joanna has her New Year spread, which is one of my favorite spreads to do each year. There's a spread by James Wells. Beth Owl's daughter is in here. Again, James Wells. The spreads in here are like worth the price of admission. So that's a real plus on that. Now, because this is my primary deck, I'm going to show you a few more cards. I'm going to be a little indulgent, if you will, in terms of wanting to show you more cards. I'm going to start with the aces. And we have the Ace of Air, the beautiful butterfly being born, still on its chrysalis. Its wings are finally full, and it's about ready to fly. And that's a very good capture of the energy of the aces. They're about to begin. It's the momentum, the potential of that energy. The next one is the Ace of Fire. Like life. This is a passion card, the seed of energy and fire, and that little snake being born and ready to get going and really ready to start moving. So it's a really nice, again, nice card. I love this deck. It's very intuitive for me. It really keys into me. And here is a Fingerling Salmon for the Ace of Water. Joanna is a, I'll get over here so y'all can see me sweating. Joanna is a Pacific Northwest artist. She's up in the state of Washington. And a lot of her card imagery reflects that. And you'll see a lot of people she knows in there. I actually saw somebody criticize this deck because they said it felt too community oriented. and I each to their own, but that just kind of made me go, what? Because it's actually one of the reasons I really like it. So, yeah, each to their own. And there's one of my favorite aces. I know there are only 4, so right, I can have 4 favorites? No. But her Ace of Earth is so sweet. That little fawn getting ready to get up and go. The fern unfurling here. All this new energy going on. Hang on, my dog is eating something she shouldn't be eating. Stop it. Eat that. Eat that. Bad dog. Video break. Now see, if I was an editor person, I could have fixed that and taken that right out, but I'm not yet. But her aces all have that potential to see. That's what I want in any tarot deck when I have the aces come up. Our air card, Swords, is the 9 of air. This card is very typically a card of anxiety and nightmare. So she's captured that. But in here, her friend, this is Nora Cito, I believe Nora Citoing is the model for this. And she's a very well-known death midwife. She has done a lot of work with green burial and changing people and how the whole funeral idea. I digress. She's got the, I think it's called She Who Watches, up in the sky. And the whole meaning of this is if she can let go of this and trust, she's covered, she's watched, somebody's got her back. But it's a great interpretation of the 9 of air, or the 9 of swords. Here's the 6 of fire, or the 6 of wands, which is traditionally a card of victory. And I'm so sorry, we're having a little discussion over a toy right next to me. Move the dogs, excuse me. It's going to be one of those days, y'all. I've already done this video twice. So I do apologize. The 6 of fire. Dance like nobody's looking. Celebrate yourself. Use your passion, right? That's very, I love that fire energy. And she does the elements. This is a very pagan deck. It speaks to the Wiccan in me. And it is very literal. These cards are sometimes funny in how literal they are. My card is the 3 of water. It's the Seek Joy, y'all card. And I even have a little pendant that Joanna made. She was for a while making pendants with her limited edition decks. I don't know if she still is. I'll put a link in the description so you can go look at it. The decks are pricey, worth it, worth every penny. You can do installments. And if she's got some left, you know, if you can swing it, man, get on that ticket, because I've got 3 limited editions. But I love this. We have one found joy, one going back for joy, one deep diving for joy. And it's a wonderful 3 of water, right? It's all about celebration and parties and having fun. So I love that card. I keep saying that. And my earth card is one of my favorites of her earths. It's hard for me to say a favorite because I really, out of all 78 cards, I love them all. Even bindweed, which is the devil. Okay, the 2 of earth, the 2 of coins. Look at that little cranky baby, that little happy baby. This is a daddy at the market. He's trying to get his food, and he's trying to balance his babies and juggle their temperaments. This card's very good about choices and physical body stuff, which is what, to me, earth should be. Now we're going to look at 4 of the court cards. I always like to show at least 4, the one set of courts. And I'm going to use water this time. First, we have the Child of Water. Joanna also does 2 women and 2 men in each of her courts. I love this. It doesn't lock any of the court cards into a specific gender. Now, for me, I'm more in the area of gender fluid, so I really think there's more than 2 genders. We can discuss that later. Some people don't buy into that. That's okay. Your mileage may vary. Child of Water. This is one of the girls. There's 2 girls and 2 boys. And I love her. And she's got the little Cancer, the crab right there. And the little house that the hermit crab is so excited about. So it's a perfect representation of the Child of Water. Next up we have the Explorer, or Knight of Water. He's our surfer. He's flinging his heart forward. He's got his companion dolphin there. And this is all about putting yourself in the moment and really going with it. Not really, there's not a lot of analytical thought happening with this, because all you can do is balance and lean into the wave, right? So it's a great representation for me of that night energy, and that's what the Explorer is. We come to the Guardian next. We have Child, Explorer, Guardian, and then Elder. The Guardian is our lovely, lovely water queen. She's inviting you in. She wants you to go deep. She really wants you to... I'm so sorry. My dog is eating the Anna K Tarot. Y'all, this has been a bad dog night. I'm going to have to put them out next time. But our Queen of Water is... I love that we have all the fish going and Mr. Sea Turtle's going his own way. And that's often a concept I come up with when I'm talking with my clients about the idea of, are you following your heart or are you following the crowd's heart? And it depends on your situation, right? Because sometimes that one or the other is the right thing to do. I may bring the dog on so y'all can see how bad she is. She's a Basenji and they're just destructive little monkeys and I adore her. Our Elder of Water, our King of Cups. Now he's so evolved. He's so evolved emotionally. He doesn't have to look where he's going. He's just pulling for the far shore and following his heart. He's got his companion of the harbor seal there. And I believe that's Mount Baker in the background. As I said, Joanna's up in the Pacific Northwest, and so a lot of her scenery is what she sees. And she's a very, very talented artist. I've seen a lot of her work. Just good stuff. And GanTarot.com, I'll put it down in the links, is where you go to get this deck. I don't know if you can find it on Amazon. I think you can find the mass markets at or above what the limited editions are. So I'd go for a limited edition. If you're going to pay the money, get the limited edition, get it signed from the artist herself. The Fool. Joanna has renamed quite a few cards. This is also the Seeker in her deck. We have, instead of the little white dog, we've got the fox. The butterfly on the back of the Fool for transformation and coming out of your shell and spreading your own wings. The whole cliff atmosphere is there. Really nice Fool card. And one of my favorite cards in the whole deck. I've already said that right. I'll do it a lot. But look at him. Isn't he sexy? I just love him. I believe his backstory is that he was a stage magician that Joanna saw and just kind of took a picture of him and then asked him if she could put him in her deck. And one thing I want all my magicians to have, I want them to have all the tools of the tarot available. And so he does, and I think that's really, really big. I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm fighting with the dog again. Come here. She doesn't want to. She's running from me because she thinks I'm going to try to grab her. But this is the magician, and he's very energetic, and he has a whole lot of energy going. And as I was saying, Nehru, the tools, earth, water, fire, air, everything's there for him. Now let me get back over here since my bad dog caused me to hide stuff from myself as I'm trying to protect the cards. Y'all just don't know. Okay. The High Priestess. Now this is one of the first cards I can remember besides the World. This is one of the first cards I remember seeing of this deck. And I'm going to try to bring her up and close and hold her. Can you see the detail? Can you see that one side of her face and the brown hair is young and one side is more lined and weathered? She's got the owl coming in with the wisdom. She's got the sleeping goddess of Malta. The pillars, one is more transparent than the other, so you've got the concept of white and black. She's got the fish here. And somebody pointed out, and I'm going to pull it back so you can see it. Do you see the white? It's a Maltese cross. Joanna says she did not do this intentionally. So very cool, right? The Gardener, one of her other renamed, is the Empress. Pregnant, lush food. I always tell people there's food you have to work to make, and there's food that's ready to eat in this card. So you need to understand that in your life, some things you have to work for that are abundant, and some things are already abundant. Don't neglect either side. I love this one. This is the Hierophant or the Pope, and this is her teacher. And he has plant allies. He's got the coyote. the blue heron. The great blue is one of my personal totems. And the red cedar. These are all strong images. But look what he's got in his hand. A dandelion. Or she. I sometimes see this card as female and sometimes I see it as male. It's a very androgynous figure for me. But the dandelion is an unusual gift. It's kind of a trickster gift. You're like, I don't need a dandelion. It's just going to take over my yard. But think about dandelion wine, dandelion tonic, fresh dandelion leaves in your salad. There's a whole lot of healing that goes on with that particular plant. So we may see it as weed, but there's a lot of hidden knowledge and a hidden good and hidden use. And that's part of what I get out of that teacher card when it comes up for me when I'm reading for people. The canoe is the Chariot. I just love the look of this. He's got that really driven look on his face. He's determined. He's picked up his paddle. He knows where he's going. Super important energy. Funny story about this card, the tree. It's the Hanged Man. I pulled this for a client who was a new client. We hadn't been reading together, but maybe this was her first time, might have been her second. And this came up, and she's like, oh, I do yoga. And I talked about her needing to take a pause and a break, and something was coming in her life that was going to cause her to say, oh, I need a break. She writes to me about a week later and said, guess what? I broke my foot, and the only yoga pose I can currently do without hurting myself is the tree. Very literal death. And I told Joanna that. We all three giggled. And this is death. I don't even have to do a dun-dun-dun, because this is such a beautiful, beautiful death. This is an abandoned boat she saw. There is the carcass of a blue heron. Now, I don't know if the heron was already in the boat or if she added it. There's a vulture coming in. And look at this. What's underneath the boat? Is that a grave? Very much about transformation and the deep mystery that comes with death. So, one of my real favorite death cards across all the decks I've ever used. Lightning is the Tower. And Joanna's repurposed the energy of the Tower in her deck. She really considers this less about catastrophic event and more about sudden brilliant insight, sudden boom, aha kind of thing. And it's about you being woken up to what's really happening and having to deal with it, but so it's less about the crashing of the tower. The next card is her star, and as you know, if you've been watching my videos, I like to look at death and the star. Those are my two key end cards to see if I'm really going to meet up with a deck. Isn't she gorgeous? The Pleiades up here, the reflection, she's drinking the star in, the kingfisher. So much symbology and symbols in these cards. You could learn from these cards every day. I love to meditate with these cards. I like to go into them and see what messages I get. And just beautiful. And then there's the World card, which I've gotten in the habit of showing with these videos. That's Gaia herself. I believe that's the very first card Joanna drew in this deck. And she has the 4 figures all the way around. Yes, I have one more card to show you. And the butterfly. And then she's got the yoni symbol, the wreath symbol there with world coming through. Prayer flags. Lots to look in here. Love the back. The back is, yes, reversible. So I've just dropped the card I need. Excuse me. You're now looking at my ear, right? Awesome. So the last card I want to show you is Joanna. Dun, dun, dun. And she's even prettier in person, y'all. She's truly this very, very giving and warm soul. If I sound like I'm a groupie, I am. She teaches courses online at GuansSoul.com. She's got a course coming up in September. It's a 30-day self-paced e-course. You just get it in your email and you do it, and it's like, I don't know, $19. It's so cheap. But that's GuansSoul.com. So you'll go to Gan Tarot, and I think you can find Guans Soul from there. But this has been a review of the gorgeous, gorgeous Gan Tarot. We're just going to cut the deck and see what card wants to be shown last. Ha! That's one of the male queens. That's the Guardian of Fire. He's watching over 4 fires. He's got the Canadian Lynx as his companion. And very multicultural deck, as you notice, which I really appreciate in a deck. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to be doing the Anna K Tarot next as a request. And I hope that you'll come back. And I hope you share it with your friends and have some fun. And if you want a reading, I love reading for people. I have 3 sets that you just go to Tarot by Arwen and look under Meet Work with Arwen. And there's an appointment calendar, and you can go look at my appointments that are available. So let's work together and get you back on the track to joy if that's your gig. Seek joy, y'all. Pass it on.